Heated exchange between President Trump and Governor Janet Mills over transgender women in sports. Trump has some comments on an interview with Brian Kilmeade, but yeah, the NCAA has complied immediately. We already watched it. Janet Mills says, "Yeah, I'm here. Are you not going to comply? I'm going to comply with state and federal law. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all. See you in court. Enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be elected in elected politics."
But they have to come in legally. 2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's.
Dude, once we make sure that trans people don't have the correct gender on their passports and like can't participate, all 40 of them are no longer allowed to participate in sports at all. The egg prices are gonna go down. I promise. Okay, I promise. Chat, trust me. My goat, Donald Trump. Okay, the legend himself. He is going to floor the egg prices, okay? Rent is going down. Everybody knows every landlord is trans, okay? Obviously, every landlord is trans. So clearly, the price of rent going down. Every egg is trans, okay? Everybody knows trans people exclusively eat a diet comprised of eggs and nothing else. So egg prices also going down. It's coming down any day now. Any day now. All of your problems are going to be solved now that we got 40 fucking people that participated in athletics out of the equation. It's not even 40 anymore. This year is less than 10 on the NCAA level. This is such a non-issue. Exactly. Oh no, but those 10 people. What if they were too dominant? Which they weren't, by the way, but it doesn't matter.
Sports. Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers, where a record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, you know, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever, a lot. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then a guy walks up who transitioned. He transitioned. And he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That would be a record not going to be broken again.
Lying is OP, please nerf. Lying is OP, please nerf. Mods. Lying is... Mods. Lying to OP. Nerf.
So we put a ban on it. And
God forbid. First of all, God forbid any trans person has ever dominated for like one fucking athletic competition ever, one time, okay? You will never hear the fucking end of it, okay? You will never hear the end of it. Out of the limited number of trans athletes that exist out there, they are not dominant, okay, in the field of competition. This is just a lie. And even if they were, I still would not care, okay? I just want to explain this to you. I don't care. People look at this and they go, cheating. It's cheating. It's cheating. People are just transing themselves specifically to win athletic competitions. I don't see it that way. I don't think people are just simply transing themselves, okay? The process is endlessly complicated and you're fucking yourself over, okay? You're fucking yourself over for no reason other than to win athletic endeavors. You're out of your goddamn mind. You're not allowed to lie if you're a politician, though? Yeah, of course. This is probably one area I do agree with. Best analogy is someone like Michael Phelps. No, there's an even better analogy. I've talked about this quite a bit, okay? It's Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi actually took a shit ton of hormones initially. Like he took HGH because of his disease, his genetic disease. Barcelona took a massive gamble on him and offered him this like complicated medical process because he was unimaginably talented, okay? Like, but of course, that's not seen as quote unquote cheating, And it's fine. There's no issue with this. Like there's no problem with this, okay? People have genetic advantages and people have medical advantages that take place as well, or people to get medical treatment as well that would be considered completely unacceptable. Can you stop giving shitty arguments to Cristiano Ronaldo fans? I mean, I have no issue with Messi and the hormone therapy that he underwent early on in his life. Okay? There's no issue with that at all. It is a tiny, minuscule percentage. These people literally personally think that, every athlete is just going to trans themselves, quote unquote. There are already pretty significant, even at times when trans people have been able to participate in athletic endeavors. It is a very unpopular subject matter, for the record. I know that, okay? The average person literally does not want a trans person to be anywhere near sports, okay? They just don't want, especially trans women. They just don't want it because it's a very successful avenue of attack because Americans believe in meritocracy in sports especially. And when you pair that up with like the assumption that trans people are weird and sinister and transing themselves for a multitude of different reasons, and not because they are trans, okay, but for some other secret third reason I will not mention, right? That's like the general attitude. They think, okay, they're transing themselves for sports. Okay? Yeah. There are very prominent examples of how it's virtually impossible to find someone that like unironically trans themselves specifically to win athletic competitions. And that's precisely the reason why the only people that do that are Republican charlatans, the Steven Crowders of the world, okay? Who will just be like, we couldn't find a real existing example of someone that like faked being trans because the process is so goddamn complicated and messy to begin with, okay? So, people like Ben Shapiro, who initially wanted to make a documentary on people who are faking being trans or whatever, couldn't find anyone that would go through the process of like actually undergoing HRT. So they just made a movie instead. That's where Lady Ballers came from. They initially wanted to make a documentary. They couldn't find any real existing examples. So they just made it up. Okay. This is the whole point. It's the whole process. It's the same principle. I'll give you another example that virtually everyone understands, a more popular position that Republicans have also undermined. Abortions. Republicans lie and say people are getting fun abortions, okay? Republicans make it seem as though people are volunteering to carry pregnancies almost to term for 9 months just to get a fun abortion, just to feel the thrill of getting an abortion. It's ridiculous. It is completely made up, okay? That is not a real thing. Except Republicans have repeated that lie so many times that there's enough people that believe it. Or even if they don't believe it, they'll point to that to say, this is why we have to, restrict the abortions that people get. Okay? I'll just cut my legs off to play in the Paralympics. Exactly. And Republicans endlessly love burning the candle on both ends. If you want to limit the number of abortions that happen, you should be an advocate for sex ed. You should be an advocate for contraceptives and education surrounding contraceptives and the usage of it. But of course, they don't want that either. Lo and behold, they don't want to do that either. And the same goes for the unfair competitive element of trans people in sports. If you want to completely eradicate the unfairness argument in and of itself, then allow people to use puberty blockers. Okay? Allow people to use, with obviously rigorous medical examination, to utilize puberty blockers. Hunter Schafer is a great example of what happens when you do use puberty blockers, okay, and can transition. Except they don't want to do that either because they don't want to actually solve a problem. They want to create a problem when there's no such problem that exists and then, constantly complain about it. Messi didn't take hormones because he wanted to or because he wanted to have an advantage. He took them because he had a diagnosed hormonal growth problem. Wait. That's the argument. Exactly. Do you think trans people are taking hormones because they want to have an advantage? Or do you think they're doing it because they're trans? Your comparison is stupid with respect. It's like saying that asthmatics take salbutamol to have an advantage. Do you realize how stupid that sounds? I love you, Hasi. Mock, mock, mock. No, that's the point. That is literally the point. That is exactly what I'm saying. That's why I say there's nothing wrong with Messi taking these hormones. Hello? You just basically repeated the argument that I'm making and then said it's different though because trans people are different. Unless your underlying suspicion is that trans people are transitioning for some nefarious purpose, you must understand that there are living, breathing examples of people that have also taken hormones for good reasons, okay, for necessary medical reasons, and have become fantastic athletes in the process as well. You know? But this is an understandable blind spot for many people, okay? And it takes a long ass time for people to come to that conclusion. There is this deep-seated, very important association that we have with our gender. It's a very important part of our identity. It has to be constantly reinforced. So I'm much more understanding of people who have what the fuck? Tolga Yilmaz Amına koyayım. I can't believe this chatter's username is literally a dude that I have stopped playing Dota over. Like, this chatter remembers me in high school. Like, I've talked about my experiences in high school and why I never played MOBA games. And I've given that as an example of a person that I hated in high school. And he changed his username to that. Yeah, it's a joke name. No, I know. All right, let's continue.
To protect women. I mean, the women, if you watch the Olympics, you had two transitioned people that were fighting in the women's boxing. They have women's boxing category. That wasn't even the case. They're just lying. You saw that. It was brutal. What happened to the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch, she said, no more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even it was just a left jab. She got hit so hard, she said, I can't do it. They forced her to go out. No, go out again. You'll do it. Goes out again, gets hit again. No, that's it. She didn't want to die.
That's the craziest part about this also, is that, like, she's literally Algerian, okay? A country where you definitely can't be trans, okay? So now we are deciding, okay? We're deciding, like, who out of the cis women, like, what level, like, what kind of cis women are allowed to compete, okay? Yeah. We're doing this to protect women, which is why only ladies that I consider to be sexy are allowed to fight now. Okay? If I think someone is too good, even if they have a natural advantage, okay? Even if they have a natural advantage, I don't like that, okay? That's crazy.
And it's crazy, but
when you get down to it, only white women can be women as their core position. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Like, you have to also be dainty. If you're a female athlete, you literally can't be brolic because I will suspect you of being trans, and I will, even if you are not, you're delusional. I'm delusional for saying that a fucking Algerian Muslim woman, okay, who dominated in the women's boxing division, like, I have to just imagine them as being trans because Republicans just don't think that she fits the stereotype of what they consider to be a woman. Like, what am I doing? It's just so crazy because it's like just such a spectacular example of people's lack of interest in the truth. Okay? It's just people are not interested in the truth at all. They're like, nah, this lie is actually way better for me. It makes me feel better. So I might as well just keep going with the lie and call everyone delusional. It's also funny because, you know, she's fucking Algerian. Like that's what makes it funnier, because it's like, yeah, dude, Algeria, the woke country, okay? It was proven in leaked medical report that he is a man. Yeah, hilariously, she's lost several fights to cis women in the past. Well, she's also a cis woman. Yeah, Algeria was woke.
NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better.
Yeah, they did this on Castlevania too.
You better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
The only countries that are being trans allowed are Turkey, Tunisia, and ironically Iran. Yeah.
Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens.
Yeah. No, this is definitely going to fix all of our issues, guys. I promise, any day now. Any day now. Any day now, okay? Trust.
Bring us the later.
Anyway, there was more on that. I'm trans and I can confirm that we're responsible for inflation. Look, my point is, all of this is obviously very dangerous and very damaging, okay? Very dangerous and very damaging for trans people, but Republicans are wielding this as a weapon, okay? Because they're bullies. They're weak bullies. This is weak bully shit. You attack people that don't have you attack people that are in the margins when you are a weak person. Okay? You attack people in the margins when you are a weak person. And the Republicans use this over and over again. They vice signal over and over again deliberately to make people feel like they're actually doing something at the behest of the regular public, when the major reasons as to why they won was because the Democrats had no real answers for the inflation crisis that people were experiencing. And the Republicans falsely redirected that anger to trans people and undocumented immigrants. Genuine question, though, who's going to stop them, bullies or not? I mean, I think pushback is an absolute necessity at this point. I'm from Maine. I would like to say it's nice being represented by a Dem that isn't a spineless ghoul for once. Yeah, there are some. I mean, as much as I obviously criticize and despise even my governor, there are certain avenues where, like, Democratic governors will do a lot to, protect their citizens in this regard. J.B. Pritzker is another great example of this, and Newscomb is a good example of this as well. I mean, he's horrible when it comes to combating homelessness. He's Mr. Homeless Annihilator, okay? But he is pretty good when it comes to at least moving in the direction of some kind of criminal justice reform, which he's been attacked viciously over, and also, protecting abortion and protecting queer people in general.